It's a beautiful sunset in Aurora. I hope someone out there is listening. And if you are, come on over into the Google Hangout. Otherwise, it'll be just me and dataclysm. Because, you know, if I'm going to sit here waiting for someone to come into the Google Hangout, I might as well read. This is a really good book. The premise is that love, sex, race, and identity are all being measured in our online persona as we interact with the with social media. It's very, very cool. The owner of iCupid, well, I don't know if he's the owner, but anyway, he's a co-founder and he's in charge of their data, is Christian Rudder. I'll see if you can see him. And Christian Rudder, I tweeted him today, letting him know that we were reading his book. But he also says right straight up in his book that he's not really into social media. It's kind of funny. They said, well, what do you think? You want to get into this? That's what his publishers asked him to do. And he said, well, I'll make a profile, but that's it. I wonder if his own data scares him. You never know. Well, here I am. I thought we would try this again this week and give it a shot. I'm just going to tweet out to everybody and say, hi. Hi there, Bit15 Reads. Are you there? Do you want to chat? My growing friend, Jennifer Casa-Todd, suggested that maybe if we did Twitter, it wouldn't be quite so scary as being on camera. I get it. I kind of get it. I think I'm half introvert and half extrovert. That's what my friend Peter McCash says. And he gets that in a lot of cases I do these crazy things because then I don't have to talk about myself. Just talk about books. They're safe. Let's see what happens. I haven't quite figured out how to manage 2 screens at once with 2 different keyboards. You see, I prefer to do my Google Hangout on my beautiful Mac, but all my other computing is done on this PC. And in my life, I try to do that as well. I have an Android phone and iPad at school and a PC desktop where I do everything else. And I just try to keep moving through platforms and modes and mediums. And I think it makes me savvier because of it. I can answer lots of questions. I don't know about you guys, but this year we decided in the Upper Grand District School Board to move to Outlook webmail, which is always interesting when you try to introduce a new piece of mandatory communication software into you know, a diverse body of people. And of course, like every school, we have a range of people who are not at all happy with technology and people who absolutely love it. And people like myself who love it as long as it's doing what it needs to do. It's when someone else makes decisions for me that I get a little crazy. So anyway, that's where we are with that. What I wanted to talk about this week is actually what I wrote my blog post about today. It's blogging in general is very difficult. And I think that's why I force myself also to try it, because I'm always talking about how important it is to make your thinking visible. One of my very first things that was an informative for me in my teaching profession as I was starting to integrate technology into my life was I met Will Richardson. And Will, and I was all excited because I thought in a lot of ways I was following his mantra and getting into really, how can I put it, renegotiating the learning spaces that I create so that they're more accessible and available and reflect the diversity of the learners that I work with. And that includes staff as well as students. But he also said to me, so where are you sharing all of this information? And I wasn't really sure about how to answer that because I wasn't, other than Twitter. I wasn't really putting myself out there. And I think that's a good challenge is If we're not sharing, then what are we doing? I don't know if you can see this, but I have a giant pile of books behind me. That's how I roll in general. New to the box this week that I have not yet engaged with are these 3 books. Countdown to Day Zero. I think it's going to be really interesting. Kim Zetter is the person who wrote, she is an editor in Wired magazine. And this is all about Stuxnet, which was the first virus that could actually physically modify computers. I think I have that right. The people who know this are going to laugh at me if I've gotten that wrong, but that's okay. Let me see if I can remember. Yeah, this is really interesting. So in January 2010, inspectors with the International Atomic Energy Agency noticed that centrifuges at an Iranian uranium enrichment plant were failing at an unprecedented rate. The cause was a complete mystery, apparently as much to the technicians replacing the centrifuges as to the inspectors observing them. So it turns out that Stuxnet was that, and Kim Zetter argues this is the wave of the future, that there were going to be more and more weapons that are like Stuxnet that are going to cause mass chaos. So if you like chaos and you like military response to it, or if you're a hacker yourself, then you might just like this book. On a completely different note, I got this book, which is Applications of Flow in Human Development and Education. And it's the collected works of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. It's terrible. I'm just massacring. I think it's something like Csikszentmihalyi is what I want to say it is. Probably someone out there can pronounce it better. Maybe I'll tweet that out and say, hello, is there anybody who can pronounce Csikszentmihalyi? Let me see if I can do that. Chick. There we go. If you don't know this name, he's the man who invented the idea of flow. It's that perfect optimal learning curve that teachers really try to get their students to, where you've challenged them just so enough so that they're engaged with the task, but they're not so challenged that they give up or get frustrated. So achieving that state is a perfect state of flow. It's why artists do what they do. It's why musicians do what they do. It's why a lot of us do what they do. The book that I just finished reading is Vikram Chandra's Geek Sublime, and he says that it's the reason he codes. He loves the challenge. He loves the beauty of it, the beauty of making it elegant. Kind of cool. All right, I'm going to see if I can tweet that again. Somebody come and play. Somebody come and play today. Somebody come and laugh the laugh and sing the songs. It won't take long. Somebody come and play today. You know that song? I think it's from Sesame Street. I told Tim that if nobody was coming, I was going to start to sing, and then we would see what would happen. Maybe nothing would happen. But it's a hard thing, you know? The hard thing about the 15 the hard thing about Bit 15 reads is that it takes an incredible leap of faith to think that people are going to be out there and communicating and listening. And I know that not all of you are happy with this timing, and so I'm wondering if I might have to just change things, but I'm waiting for a suggestion. I hope somebody will say, hey, how about another another time slot, and I'll see if I can make that work. For example, we could do Mondays about the same time. We could. Wendy Clark just tweeted back and she said, don't bother, just kind of say flow. I thought that was great. Thank you, Wendy. And she's in my board. I love that. Okay, Wendy, I'm gonna hook you up. Biggest, happeningest book club on the internet today. I have no idea if that's true or not, but it sounds good, right? When you use a lot of hyperbolic words. Pretty cool. The other thing that I'm going to need is I'm not quite sure how to get more feedback from people about what books should go forward. Should we just keep talking about all of the books? Is it important that we narrow them? When I first started Bit 15 Reads in concept, I thought we'd follow the Canada Reads model. And I thought we might say, I thought I might say something like, let's go from 20 books to 10 books in 1 month, only then in terms of popularity. It's just the trick is, I don't know what you've chosen to read. The only way I know that is if you've got it, if you're in my Goodreads book club, and if you've announced, this is what I'm currently reading. So that's a little trickier. So my good friend Peter LeBlanc just replied and said, Sundays are really difficult. Hi, I already did my singing.
I know, I heard.
So you're listening?
Yeah, I can't join it.
Oh no, what do you mean?
I tried the link and it let me watch you on YouTube.
Are you watching, when you tried the link, did you try right through your Google Plus location?
Yeah, I did. I'm logged into Google Plus and it shows me.
And you went to events?
Yeah, and it shows me you talking, but I have no opportunity to participate.
How about Hangouts and when you go to Hangouts on air?
Yep, still nothing. I click on the link and I'm watching you on YouTube.
Okay, well, that sucks. That's not the point at all, is it? And are you sure that you're signed in up here as yourself, not your UG Cloud self?
No, I'm me. I don't
but it should be working. It's perfect.
I know.
In concept.
I know.
Ah! This is just what I was saying earlier. It makes me crazy if technology is fantastic when it's fantastic. But when it's not, you sit here talking to yourself.
I still, but being ever so social. Yeah, I still think it has something to do with the fact that this is a broadcast rather than a...
I know. And you know what? Maybe I need to let that go. What are we going to do instead?
I don't know, but you probably have quite a lot of people watching you.
But they're not tweeting me.
Well, no, because they can't get in, so I think they wander off again. See?
Exactly. No. This is Wendy. I said, how do you pronounce Mahaley Chicks Mahentai? Hey, that was pretty good. And she said, just say flow, which I thought was cheeky. And so I said, what do you think? And so I'm going to send her hopefully, my WordPress link. So what are you saying, Tim? Should I just stop altogether?
I highlighted the link that you gave there, and it took me straight to a YouTube video of you talking. But
Not this page. This
yeah,
page.
The link that you've embedded
Right in
down
here.
on, yeah. And it takes me right to, I know.
I went so badly for it to work. It's just that.
I think it's because it's.
Can you go in another way, honey? Can you go through your Google Plus account?
I tried, and when I tried to connect to you, it wanted to make a new Hangout, which isn't this Hangout.
But you're going through Hangouts.
Yes, that's how we communicate on Google.
Did you go through events?
I did, and then I could watch you on YouTube again.
Damn it. Okay, how about this? You go to Hangouts, but go to Hangouts on here. See how it's a separate tab up here?
Yep. And then I could watch you on YouTube again.
Ah!
See, it's broadcast live conversations to the world.
I'm giving up. Goodbye, world.
Goodbye, world.
I'm giving up. I think I might have to sacrifice my video archivingness, very cheeky, for just a plain old Hangout. Now, tweet me immediately. Hangout. If you are listening, tweet me immediately and tell me what timing of day would work for you better. If you're not watching, then, don't tweet me. Okay? Bye.